Вы слушаете IT-радио, в студии Сергей Ледьбе. Снова здравствуйте. Мы ведем прямой эфир с международной конференции IT 2018 Днепр. И у нас в студии Антонио Cobo, Delivery Manager в BJSS. Antonio, hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you finally on iTeam.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I'm really happy to be here.
Is it your first time in Ukraine?
It's my second time actually. Last year I was in Kiev, but it's my first time in Dnipro, and so far the experience is quite good.
So, is it your first time on iTeam?
Yeah, it's my first time on this conference, and I can see that they have a lot of experience organizing conferences, and it's a really quite a good event. I like it.
So, you're speaking on this conference.
Yeah, I performed one talk yesterday about Scrum Master in remote and distributed teams, and I was quite happy. A lot of people there, and absolutely everybody was on a remote team.
Oh, wow. How long you've been speaking on such international conferences?
Around 2 years, so I decided to challenge myself a little bit. I'm a little bit introvert. I don't like to be on the spot or to perform public speaking, and I decided to go out of my comfort zone and to try to become a little bit better myself.
Wow, it looks like familiar for me because I'm also like challenging myself. So can you tell me about your background? I have information that you have 18 years experience in IT sphere.
Yeah, I'm 41 now, so I'm not a youngster anymore. So I started as a Java developer a long time ago in Spain. I continue being a software developer in France, and then I moved to UK. My last years it's more project manager, and lately more about Scrum Master and Agile coach, trying to help teams to become better.
Why you decided to become a manager?
Well, it was the first step in order to ensure that I wasn't going to suffer bad managers. I had a bad project manager when I was a developer, and I thought I need to change that. It's not good for developers. And it was an opportunity. I started being a project manager, helping the developers, and now it's even more like a helper. The Scrum Master is usually not a manager, it's more about helping teams or organizations to become better.
So you're working with remote teams, right?
Yeah, actually my current team, we have 4 developers in Lithuania, and the rest of the team is in UK, in London. And we are lucky that at least the people from Lithuania, they are coming 1 week every month. That helps a lot. But in the last 3 years, mostly all my teams, they were remote or distributed teams.
And what in your opinion is better, remote team or in-office team?
I think that, of course, everybody is going to prefer to be on the same office, because there is not only the communication that is with the voice, it's also the visual communication. But you can have that also with remote teams using webcams and video conferences. You need to be working a little bit harder, but you can get similar results. And nowadays, more or less everybody wants to work 1 or 2 days from home. So if you are a collocated team, but one of the team members are working on Fridays from home, you are actually a distributed team. It's only that it's not every day. And the technology now allows to people to work in different locations. So it's quite good.
So it sounds like a plus for a remote team.
Yeah, and actually it's really complicated to recruit good people and to find a really good developer with a lot of experience. And most of the time those developers, they prefer to work from home, or they are not even in your country. With the technology, you are able to find the right person for your team with the good skills, and the technology is allowing you to work with someone that is in Lithuania, in Ukraine, Latvia, and working from UK in my case. So.
Can you mention the minuses of the remote teams? Maybe they are struggling or something?
Most of the time it could be complicated, the communication at the beginning, the different accents and culture. I know that people from Spain, like myself, we speak really fast. And people usually in Eastern Europe, they don't ask, could you slow down? Or we are really direct. If I say I don't like that, I'm not attacking you. It's the way that in Spain we say things. We are really direct. But in some cultures and some countries, that's really offensive. So that small things can be a challenge. But it can also make the teams to think in different point of views and get even the results even better. So it's a minus, but it can be also a big plus.
In your opinion, what is the best way of building such communication for new remote teams?
Well, they need to get to trust each team member. If you have the possibility to get them together once, even if it's only once a year, that's going to help a lot. In some companies, we were trying to get one developer on each location, and if not, you need to ensure that you can actually perform a video conference at any time with any member of the team. So if you have a question, at the end, talking is going to be easier than chatting on the Slack. If you have a video call, put the webcam on and just talk to each other.
So you're talking about like bringing all team together. It's like a team building or something like that.
Or sometimes it's only for working. When the Lithuanian developers are coming to London, it's not team building. It's a normal working day. There are 3 days there, and we are all or trying to be all on the same location. There are more exchanges, and sometimes it's quite useful to perform retrospective and to try to get better. And I think that the trust is getting even better. In some things it's not possible to do that, so it's a little bit longer. You need to build the trust step by step and not to try to go, okay, you trust me now because I'm your teammate. It doesn't work like that. Trust is really hard to get and easy to lose. So it's slowly, and ask your teammates what they need. If they need something and you are actually helping them to achieve that, they are going to trust you.
So you know that trust is like building for years, but it can be broken like in a moment.
Yeah.
So if there is a conflict in the team, like between two developers, I mean like conflict about the code or something like that, about the work. So how will you try to solve this problem?
You know, one of the best things is actually discuss openly about the problem. Most of the issues that you can have on a team is when someone is a little bit angry with someone else and is not saying it. Sometimes they have problems and they don't say it. It's better, okay, let's open up. What's the problem? What was the origin of the problem? Why this developer or the manager reacted like that? And try to find a best way for the next time. If you are trying to do that without a blaming culture, more about trying to get better altogether, you can avoid maybe losing the trust.
Can you give like some couple of advices for people that would like to become a delivery manager or project manager? What are the steps to become have such position?
That's a little bit controversial sometimes because there are a lot of people that are coming from management school. So if I try to give some advice, it's probably they're going to say this is crazy. He's from a Java developer background. At the same time that I did have a really bad project manager, I knew on the same company another that it was really, really good. So if you want to go to management, project management, and you're a developer, try to find someone that is good and try to ask questions how to get better. It's the experience of others is helping a lot to become better. Ask someone for help. I can't tell you more or less how I managed to do that, but it was my context. Probably if I tell you do like that, maybe it's not going to work for you because your company is different, the country is different, the project managers that are there is really different. It's try to do it step by step. Don't rush to perform the change. That could be more or less my advice. And a small change at a time is always better than trying to run too fast. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Thank you a lot for sharing your opinion, for your experience. It's precious for me and for our listeners. So I know that it's your first time on iTeam. Can you share your expectations before coming to iTeam and impressions before you have a workshop?
Normally, I prefer to avoid having expectations because I want to be surprised all the time. I think it's an event really well organized, and you can feel that it's not the first year of iTeam. That is 6, 7, 8, probably 7, and when you go to a conference that in several years, you know that the organizers know that every year they need to get better, and I think that they have that mentality, and it helps a lot. In terms of quality of the talks, I think that there are a good variety of the talks with different topics, and I'm pretty sure that the attendants are getting a lot of value from the conference.
If you would have an ability to come again to iTeam, will you come?
Yeah, but probably I couldn't do like I did this year, that is chaining two conferences one after another. I could come, but only for iTeam and not for two conferences on the same weekend.
Thank you a lot for your time and you sharing your experience. And спасибо, друзья, что вы с нами и следите за эфирами на IT-радио, следите за эфирами на странице в Фейсбуке, скачивайте наше приложение для iOS, Android и оставайтесь с IT-радио. Спасибо большое.